Raise your horns high and let your spirit flow. It's the classic metal wrap-up show. Feel the rush, let the loudness grow. It's the classic metal wrap-up show.
All right, so we just wrapped up with Mike, the manager from Max Sabbath, who stepped in and did a little top 5 list of Ozzy Sabbath favorite albums, and they're doing some shows this fall. Yeah, so catch them. So we'll plug that, and I guess the next thing is what we want to do a little bit of a rundown of the CMS since we got time.
Yeah, I think we can have a little discussion of.
Well, let's go. This will be good.
Well, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Time's just flying by, and
exactly.
So last night's show, I'm just gonna say this, guys.
Go for it.
I am struggling, like many others, to find reasons to still tune in. If it wasn't for the wrap-up show itself, I don't know that I would be listening on Saturday nights. And even on Saturday nights, I kind of starting to feel like it's a little like I feel like Andrew. This is a homework assignment. I'm having to go to school.
But wait. I think you make a good point, because my wife was away last night. Left yesterday. To do a bridal, one of those girly things. And she's like, well, you want to come along? I'm like, fuck no. I mean, it's fire season. And plus, I'm moving all my stuff back from moving my stuff out.
For the evacuation, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm basically itemizing all my shit and just kind of divvying out the stuff I'm going to sell. So I basically did a dual thing. I was mostly focused on that while I had it on. But I'm like, there's not a lot that grabbed my attention. So I'm with you. It's like more like background noise.
Yeah, I find myself using the time to do household stuff, but it gets so late in the night. I'm an older guy myself. By 10:30 or 11, when this guy is droning on and on about shit that has nothing to do with rock music, nothing to do with metal music.
But wait, I'm
falling asleep on the couch going, God damn.
You're falling asleep on the couch.
You're putting me to sleep on the couch. I better get my helmet on.
But isn't it totally unnecessary him giving us history lessons on Zeppelin and Fleetwood Mac, and even then he gets it wrong.
Yeah.
So it's just like they get exposed for their lack of knowledge on what they claim to know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Seems to happen pretty frequently. And then last night, let's just brush over a couple of topics that came through. Led Zeppelin.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's Neely's go-to. Can always go back to that. And I still say great hard rock band, but I don't know if they're classic metal, and I don't really know how many more times do I need him to dissect to me what's going on in Led Zeppelin, or what was going on in Led Zeppelin, or now he's baffled by that they're releasing
an EP.
Who's releasing this EP?
Yeah.
Well, again, dude, like the chances that Page and Robert Plant did not sign off on some label releasing an EP if Led Zeppelin is nil, dude. They clearly had their hand in this, and they are approving of this project. And I, like a lot of other people, I'm kind of with Chris. How many more times must they bilk their catalog with remasters, remixes, things I've already heard that they're trying to spin back out again for another buck? It's Jimmy Page's way he does it, and I for one only can handle so much, and then I step out.
I don't know if you can see this is the Led Zeppelin box. Oh shit. Anyways, that was one of the ones, and I can't tell you how much Zeppelin shit I have. I think I have like 3 copies of everything. I have the original Atlantic, the remastered from the 90s, and then the 2000 fucking
in the 90s when they did the first remastered set where you could get it all in a big thing. Sure. I had those discs, and that was to me, but then he kept doing it.
It is funny because Trunk was saying, is he going to do the high quality surround sound version, which that's going to happen, and I'm not buying that shit.
No, and there is certain people, but my point to Neil is kind of acting like that's not a Page. Like it is a Page thing, dude. That's only one twisted knobs in the studio doing this shit is Jimmy Page, bro. Robert Plant and John Paul Jones are not sitting around remixing, remastering, digitizing, Dolby 5.0, whatever these fucking doing.
Mm-hmm.
That's all Jimmy Page. And, so, but it's okay. So then he goes there. Fine. Okay. We're going to say that's at least rock music related. We'll at least say, even if we've heard this 1,000 times from Wendell, he's still giving us at least something rock music related. He then, as you pointed out, Ruben, as you guys know, he shoehorns in Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago.
He starts trying to get Chicago in.
Peter Cetera.
Exactly. Yeah. And then I was like, okay, all right. Now I knew he was going to go there because that's his band.
Right.
Now, in Evil's opinion, I don't even consider Chicago a rock band.
No,
they're a pop
band.
Listen,
they would probably rail.
Jazz.
I know. We talked about Huey Lewis last time, right? I think they'd probably rip Huey Lewis apart, but at least they have distorted guitar and groove and hard hitting drums.
Yeah, and I mean, I can understand how someone would say those might be in the same general realm. Okay, right. That's fine. We would not normally. You're not going to hear Evil going on and on. We did one mention of Mario and the Huey. We're not going to sit here and do episode after episode of Huey Lewis.
Yeah.
So for him to go there, and then towards the end of the show, the one that really got me, the one that I really said this has zero to do with rock or metal music, was Fleetwood Mac and his fascination with Stevie during the Seventh Wonder or whatever that song's called era. And, I'm just going to go back. Like, that's not even good Mac, bro.
But that's not.
That's like some of the worst Fleetwood Mac. I don't know why you're going to that one. And so it's like, I mean, if he had said like, okay, I'm really into the Peter Green era or something as a guitar player, I might be like, okay, well, there's some good, guitar playing going on there. But I would even say I'll take Hypnotized and old Bob Welch or something during that 70s period where they had that weird era with him.
Right.
When you get to that 80s stuff, bro, that is some of the worst.
And that's
Fleetwood
pop.
Mac.
That's pop rock.
Yeah, and it's some of the worst. It's like some of the worst 80s stuff too, in my opinion. There's just
pop rock with a good drummer.
And I don't care how good Stevie looked at the time. I'm not that. That's not going to bring me to listen.
That's before she packed on the pound.
Yeah, right. Yes, I know.
He's thinking.
But yeah, I mean, it all always reverts back to looks, right? Because what did he say? Something about her looks. Yeah.
Because Wendell. Never mind. Mr. Men's Health.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's
clearly doesn't own a fucking mirror. I love that whole I'm in shape thing, but then there's pictures on it. And it's like, you're a fucking fat tub of shit too. You fucking don't shut up.
Yeah, he certainly does it. He doesn't take. I think I posted in the message board. I was like, I go, Neely, you're no Adonis, and of course they glossed right over that.
Speaking of which, the segment that you sent last week when you sent the show, so they reposted that today. And I'm pretty sure their whole fucking tirade about Jennifer Love Hewitt and her weight and all that is the AIDS segment. It's the sponsor.
Yeah, it is.
We're going to say something that is controversial, so we got to be a bunch of fucking pussies and lock them behind a paywall.
But then again, I mean, he did read the comment of, this is basically, what was it? I said something about she's basically Taylor without filters.
Taylor without filters.
And it's true.
He probably read it because he probably knows who we'll put it this way.
Yeah.
Chris isn't a fucking dumbbell.
No.
Chris knows. Chris just has to play nice because unfortunately everything that he's built is tied to this network.
Mm-hmm.
Tied to CMS Studio A.
Yeah, it's Studio A. It'd be nice if...
while you're in there talking shit on Wendell, we all know that he is just taking it and sleeping on the couch.
Curling up with his best Jimmy Page book and on the couch and reading it while he's...
It's all right there, James.
Well, Peter Cetera...
together.
Well, Peter Cetera serenades him in the background, and he's reading his novels of Jimmy Page and his exploits with underage 14-year-old girls on the road.
what is sick though is their point of reference for all these women are always just barely legal or just about getting barely legal, right? I mean, they played that clip of Jennifer Love Hewitt in that movie. I'm like, oh, I remember that. I was in fucking high school. Oh, I was about her age, you know. So it's a lot different when you have that point of reference, and it's like he was already
like, she had fucking kids.
Yeah, he was already what 12 years older than that.
Yeah. Well, we'll put it this way. He's, what, 62, 63 now?
Yep.
Where's the fucking calculator to make
No,
this?
I know that's
15
one of the things.
15 years older than younger brother Abel by my calculations.
But if you heard, I think the way he said it to Chris, he goes, oh, I'm like, 4 or 5 years older than you. I'm like, no, you're not. You're definitely older than that. I mean, he's more like 7, 8 years older than you. Yeah.
Like we don't even get him like comparing like 40-plus-year-old women, which would still be young for his age, right? Like if a chick's 40 and he's 60-something years old, it's 20-something year gap, right? So, yeah.
And then their obsession with that Sydney Sweeney, which I'm just kind of like, she looks like any other model actress type.
Daughter.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just like, okay, well, whatever. I mean, whatever. I mean, I'm just like, that's cringy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
So, yes. And I can verify that there's some classic CMSers, some legends that have been on the show who confided in Evil.
Ooh.
That they have been listening recently to try to see what where the show's at or what's going on. And the message I got was that basically we're right over target. They feel the same way. They feel that they're listening to it going, what, is this the same show I listened to 10 years ago? And how did it devolve to this?
So,
yeah.
I did the math here. Wendell would have been 35.
Oh, shit. He's older than I thought.
He was that age. So he would have been my fucking age whenever she was that age.
Jeez.
So, what does that tell you? Well, there's a reason Jimmy Page is his favorite guitar player.
Yeah. So I it might seem weird or odd, but when he started rambling on about Stevie Nicks, I started thinking in my head, it's probably because she had at one point that young blonde little girl look. You know what I'm saying? Even when she was kind of older, she looked younger.
She's still
and I think that's why he's digging on that so much. He never once ever bring up a picture of Lita Ford and go, look at this stunning old beaut.
No, he calls her a 50-footer.
Yeah, there you go. So it's just and we don't need again more talk of what he watches on television.
Oh yeah,
we don't need to hear about that.
All that stuff is filler.
I was watching a Led Zeppelin Celebration Day as I.
That is awful. I listened to that. I think I was chatting with Evil, and I'm like, my God, that is shit. So as I'm going through all my stuff, I'm putting a pile of stuff that needs to just go. I think that's going in the just needs to go pile. Fuck.
And that is one of Neely's go-to comforts is to get a cocktail and put on his Led Zeppelin. And
I mean the band sounds good. The vocal performance is sad. I mean, for what it is, I guess if you were there, I mean, there's probably some value to listening to that, owning that. But if you haven't, I'm just like, this is a one and done.
I want to say something that's probably going to ruffle a lot of people's feathers, but it's the way I've always fucking felt about this. And this goes back to even The Song Remains the Same movie. And that is...
that was awful.
Yes, thank you. So that's really getting on point to what I was going to say. I always thought from the recordings that I have heard that Robert Plant live is a very lazy vocalist.
Yeah.
He sounds great on the albums, but of course, going to.
Yeah.
But when it comes to doing any semblance of any of that shit live, it's just you might as well be Don Dokken because he's just talking the fucking words.
And I'll be throw another curveball at y'all. I only ever enjoyed Bonham's performance during the old Song Remains the Same. And to be honest, with the Celebration Day, the thing I found enjoying the most was Jason Bonham and his drumming on the DVD. So I guess, I don't know what, I guess a lot of people love all aspects of Zeppelin, and that's cool. It really, for me, is the quality of the drumming that makes me listen to Led Zeppelin. It's not Robert Plant. I'm sorry, it's not, and that's rare for people. I understand that people have to have the vocal melody and the words to sing along, and Evil's a musician, so it's different. But I'm listening for that, and that's really it's the rhythm section and John Bonham that makes me listen to Led Zeppelin. If I listen to Zeppelin, it's usually songs that feature monster fat fills and crazy drumming by John Bonham.
No.
So,
Moby Dick.
I think that Jimmy Page is sloppy in Song Remains the Same. I think he's sloppy in Celebration Day. He misses as many notes as he picks, and it's not what you hear in the studio. And for me, like whenever a band has a studio that sounds like this, and then I see them live and it sounds like that, it's really hard for me to merge the two together and be happy with what I'm seeing. And so I prefer bands that somewhat can produce what they made in the album on the stage. That's kind of like even Sabbath. They would take some of the odd and ends recording sounds and stuff out of it, but the riffs and the drums and the bass is what you're going to get on the stage. And so I don't know.
But I mean, Neely's friends with Dawkins, so he's proven that the live vocal doesn't matter to him.
Or he's just willing when it's convenient to put the blinders on and the earmuffs.
Well, you gotta put on the blinders. You gotta put on your helmet. You gotta sleep on the couch while you hear your wife being pleasured by another man and not do anything about it.
You have to sit longingly on the side of the stage or the cruise and just stare at the man at the
vocal like this.
Yeah.
And I was say it again. There was moments last night. If you're watching on that Rumble stream, not just listening but watching, Aiken's tired. Aiken was almost falling asleep towards the end of this show. Aiken was more than willing to cut some things out and move along. I feel bad for him. It feels like he's being drugged through the mud for 6 hours.
It's all goes back to Neely won't let go of his 6 hours of camera time.
Yeah. And Aiken, as much as he hates the callers, is really shooting himself in the foot because that's putting it all on him because Neely's not funny and Neely doesn't have interesting stories.
No.
I noticed something because that was the last week's segment where they went after Barton.
I missed that, but
Chris is doing it, but I think Chris is doing it because Neely's too much of a fucking bitch to say anything to people. Because when Chris said it and went, and we're not answering the calls, and Neely went, oh, we're back to that again, huh? Yeah, bitch, it never ended.
Yeah.
Nobody fucking likes you. Why do you think you're fucking divorced, asshole? She didn't even fucking like you. Probably because you didn't fucking out a condom, and that's weird. So she went and found a guy that could deep dick her and wasn't afraid to fucking come, you fucking bag. And you're going to have to censor that.
And what do you think happened with Taylor? Because he did mention, the only mention of Taylor has been now, remember where they were talking about all the music, what was he going to do with it? And he said that his nephew and Taylor would inherit it or some shit.
They're inheriting everything that is CMS
it's Studio B.
A.
Oh, Studio A, right.
Hey, right here. I wanted to call in right then and say, hey, Wendell, I already have it. Look behind me.
Yeah.
I've already confiscated everything.
Who's going to get the truck and the docking bike?
He doesn't realize it yet, but there will be evil soldiering up to the estate sale and finding other.
Well, Dayton will be getting the bike because he'll still be alive.
Yeah, he'll be 108 by then. And,
yeah. Oof.
Yeah, so that was kind of a even scarier thought is if the day comes and Neil passes and Aiken throws in the hat, probably rightly so at that point if he's still around and says, I'm not doing 6 hours on a Saturday night anymore, fuck that. We will have Lady Taylor's classic metal show.
Oh.
Is that what he said?
No, he was just saying that he would leave everything to her and his nephew. So I was in my mind, I was thinking, who would carry the mantle here? I think Lady Taylor might end up being the heir to the CMS throne.
What?
But what he doesn't realize
wait,
already been here all along.
Wait, hold up. because I gotta fucking say this. So he is so anti-fucking committed relationship, anti-marriage, which, I'm not really big on marriage either, but am big on committed relationship. I just kind of think things can get a little screwy when that paper gets involved. Somebody's going to get I can understand that part of it, but he's so anti fucking settling down relationship. But he's just going to be willing to leave everything he has to a fucking bitch who he's been a fucking trick for the last however many fucking years, and is probably getting fucked by all of Chicago behind his fucking back. And that doesn't make him a fucking bitch?
Well, you said it. I mean, that sums it up right there.
Really?
I mean, he doesn't see it that way. He thinks that he's leaving his inheritance or whatever to the lady of his dreams, apparently, and his nephew, which I don't know. I'm not here to knock it. I've never seen the nephew. Don't know the nephew. Don't know. It might be a totally fine guy. It might come on and be a great one, human being. But I'm just saying, it just seems odd.
That's at least fucking family. That's at least
that's kind of where I was thinking. Like it should be going to.
If he doesn't have a son, but he has his other younger presence in his life that is blood related, it probably does fill the son void. I'll be fair enough and give him that, especially with him talking about it being close. I won't be a dick about that. But the Taylor shit.
Yeah.
Neely, you might as well go and put your ex-wife in the will too, because that's how fucking stupid that is.
Well, and it's also kind of like, again, it shows you the short-sightedness of how Wendell lives his life. Because, when you're 20 and you're 30 and you're 40, if you never have intercourse without a prophylactic, you had never encountered the chance to make a child, and so there you would have no one to give your shit away to when you die, or to take care of you when you're old. I mean, say what you will, like Ozzy has the money to have a nurse and someone or whatever, but most of us regular Joes are going to count on someone, either family or loved one or whatever, to be that caretaker if you're in that state. And of course, Wendell assumes he's never going to be in that state, apparently. I don't know. And or does he think that Dayton's going to be alive at 110 to wipe his ass when he's fucking 85 or whatever? I don't know. But either way, it's just, it's kind of a sad situation when you think about it. He doesn't have a wife or a kid or anyone at all, the loved one. He's leaving his stuff to, well, there you go. That's because the man is, I think, clearly damaged. And,
he's very damaged, but let's put it this way, and I'll call this out too. Neely, you don't have that many fucking relationships throughout the course of 30-something fucking years and lose all of them, and I can't even talk, and at least not half of it be your fucking fault. But it's always, and they were terrible, and they were mean. Did you ever fucking realize that you're also a fucking asshole?
But the way that he critiques women, their weight, the this, the that, how they dress, how they look.
Ignoring everything that changes with him, it's always they're mean to me, but okay. Also, I thought it was funny whenever Aiken pointed out on the Jennifer Love Hewitt segment, well, yeah, she's thicker. You'd have to have at least a fucking 7 or 8 inch fucking dick to hit that from behind. And Neely got quiet. You exposed yourself there, dickhead. Now we know why they get fucked by everybody else.
Well,
that explains the truck and the guns, asshole.
And the constant use of a prophylactic is for safety.
Constant use of a prophylactic, which I'm more so thinking is more of an extender than an actual.
And I just challenge any listener, watcher of this show or the CMS to find me a 62 to 63-year-old man who has never had vagina without a prophylactic. I think he's an anomaly. I think he's a 1 in a million. I don't think there's another guy at that age who has not ever. And even, if they're like Mr. Safety Man, they had a moment where they got drunk, right? And they slipped in without the rubber, right? That happens.
I'll put it this way. I have friends who are gay who have slept with women without a fucking condom. before they came out of the closet. But yeah, here's fucking Wendell. So all the shit he wants to fucking talk about, everybody. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make him feel bad.
Really bad. Oh, so bad. Oh, well, Wendell, what we're saying is maybe give a little less of the shuck and jive routine and maybe get to reality here. And maybe if you really do want to leave it to Taylor, and Taylor's the lady of your dreams, get a ring on that finger, marry her, make her your woman, fucking do it. You normal people,
or at least move her the fuck in.
Yeah, exactly. Have a home and
make it official. Make sure she's not fucking anybody else.
Maybe you both don't want kids, but you do what the rest of us do, and you get a couple of pets, and you make a little family anyways, right? Well, Wendell's against dogs and pets and cats and everything else, right? It seems like he's afraid of attachment. That's what Wendell's afraid of, attachment.
That's what it is. So we can get into that at some point. I won't take but you already know I have my research.
At some point, we're going to have Dr. Andrew Freud on the show, and
we'll put it this way, Wendell. Until you actually look inward and start healing those fucking wounds, and there's a lot of them stemming from your mother, which I won't joke about. I'm sorry for that, truly. But then your fucking marriage and all this shit. When you do kind of trauma dump on the show, it's kind of like you should be addressing that, and maybe you wouldn't be a fucking asshole to other people.
And just realize that none of this, of what we are all discussing right now, has anything to do with classic metal show. That's not why we tuned in. We're not here. We don't honestly care, Wendell. We don't need to hear about what we want to hear about is the bands and the music and get back. Andrew's not calling. Again, I'll say this again. Evil's not calling. Ruben's not calling. You're not even going to get wrap up show people that like our show really calling into you, maybe in your chat room a little bit, but let those other people call in, Aiken, because man, it's dying on the vine, guys.
Horrible.
It's on the vine. It's very hard to listen to. There's times where you're just going, what does this have anything to do with the real Jeff Tate, Veronica, Braverman? We can go down the line. Bob Leather, all the guests that used to be on. What's going on now has nothing to do with any of that, and that's what drew us in. That's what brought us to your show. It had nothing to do with Neely's stories of Chicago and the love of his life. It had everything to do with the callers and the music and cracking jokes on the oddities and eccentricities or whatever of the personalities in the music business and the music.
Real quick, I don't know if you want to shift gears and talk a little bit about the request to contact Braverman, which in looking, it looks like he's like the guy that manages some Last Supper fucking museum in Arizona or something.
Yeah, something with Tom Araya.
No.
Were the items in the museum coming from Tom?
No, I think he helped with some of the financial backing. Gotcha. Yeah. So, but he would be a good guy to have on, I think, just to kind of give him see if he'd be up for it, first of all.
Yes. I'm going to reach out to him this week and probably tomorrow, normal business time, and send an email out to him and see what we get from that. And we have already, we can 100% confirm Kendall Peters will be here next weekend to discuss Metal Church and to go over all that. And, there's a few others I'm in contact with. I'm trying to fish them in and roping them to actually doing something on our show. That's the tricky part. Some of them feel that by coming on our show would be cutting off or disrespecting or ending any ties to Aiken and Sir Wendell. So.
Isn't it funny that
you're talking about? Yes.
Isn't it funny that they're afraid of disrespecting a racist, misogynist, sexist dude? I mean, that's funny. That is kind of funny.
A man who takes the Aquanet to the hair before the show clearly has to have someone. I mean, someone's dyeing that hair. I mean, the way that it's multi-layered in the dye. He's going to a salon to have that done. I would imagine.
Right.
I mean, he's a very interesting character for a man who claims to be so manly. He does a lot of things that are quite feminine in nature.
That make you wonder. Right.
Yeah, make it's
maybe more than 30 some years of Christmas and birthday presents are in the closet.
In the closet, which That's another thing. You know, maybe at least, Wendell, when you pass, leave those to Evil, and we'll open them on the wrap-up show, one by one. Each
we'll unwrap them. Unwrap them.
Yeah, but guys, come on. If you keep up with what you're doing, it's going to get so boring that someone named Maurice from Lima is going to end up in the Rumble chat. And a few comments to see if we can spice up the show here for you guys. So, or Martin, the ghost of Martin Neely. So might end up in your chat room, guys. So watch out for these characters. And,
I thought you said Martin at first, and then I realized you said Martin.
Martin, old Martin.
Didn't we at some point? Somebody had. Who was it? Somebody was almost on the verge of coming on, and then they kind of backpedaled. Was it Sal? Who was it?
No, Sal is. I've had no contact.
No, then who was it? Was it?
Well, we definitely. Bob Leather was right on the edge of setting a date and time to send me the recordings, and then I think
he got weird.
He got weird because I think he doesn't understand that Evil is parodying Wendell. I don't think that. For some reason, it didn't sink into his head, and then he was wondering, were we going to bag on certain types of music? And I said, well, we're not bagging on anything other than what I'm bagging on, which is Neely, right? So so it's hard for some to wrap their mind around the idea that it's not just. It can be metal and music talk, but it can also be comedy and parody and satire as well. I think they're having a hard time. They want it to be one or the other, and they don't know what. I don't know. What am I taking serious here? So there have been a few other. There's some others I don't even want to mention because if I mention it might taint them actually ever rolling around doing it, and I don't want to do that yet. So I have had but I should also say I also get messages from people who are clearly frustrated with their lack of voice to the actual CMS and are turning to Evil and saying, "Hey, Evil, why can't I?" Or "How about this?" Or "Why don't they do that anymore?" And I'm chatting with these people, going, "I feel you, brother."
And then
this is why this show exists.
That's exactly what I'm telling them.
But then you get, don't you get messages from somebody wanting you to enlighten them that doesn't have an internet presence?
Oh yeah,
yes.
I want to say something about that. So if anybody's pissed off about what I say, I work at Advantix and I can't even talk. Advantix Structures in fucking Chicago, Illinois, and I live in
and you'll gladly take clubs sent
I'll
to you via Amazon.
And I live in a gated community.
Yeah, and when Evil's out gigging again, you keep asking me this. It's with Steel Piston, ladies and gentlemen. You just have to go find Steel Piston. We're out on tour occasionally, doing some shows, and reviving the images and the ideas that Brother Wendell and his old band created all that long ago. So, but yes, we don't know who it is. We can't say who it is. I'm not Aiken IT.
But we don't.
I can't. But we do have some odd screen names commenting, messaging, asking questions, and some of the terminology that was used by one of them sounded very Wendell-esque. I'm just gonna that way, yeah. The way he phrased some things was very tough. So I don't think his LLC company or whatever his screen name was is legitimate because when I Google searched it, it comes up.
Advantix Structures LLC in Chicago.
So and then we will say props to Henry Lee Summers. We'll just put it that way for throwing the Blackfoot on their show. And our show and messaged me about that, and we appreciate that.
Yeah.
And that person also gave us a kudos for our interview with Greg. So there you go. There's people out there who appreciate Greg and Blackfoot, and we're kind of subliminally putting the wrap-up show into the classic metal show without Wendell even knowing.
Right.
So even when Evil's not doing the emailing, there's people out there emailing you songs that Evil would probably want you to play, Wendell. So
yeah, we should get. We should get Don Jameson, the unfunny one,
to counter the Florentine.
Yeah. Why not?
Or
show.
Well, I mean, the ultimate coup would be just to get the head cheese, the master, the man who has many homes and is flying around the globe and basically made the sphere happen in Vegas. Mr.
Get Ed Trunk.
Get Trunk on here, and we need to
or Cumia.
discuss. There you go. One of those two.
Do you think if we got Trunk? I mean, it's like he doesn't have a whole lot to promote. I mean, everybody knows.
But we have to wait till he puts a book out or does something. Yeah. And then we have to get in line, and then hopefully we can get him to chat it up. And really, the only question I have for Ed Trunk is, did you actually get handed a CMS t-shirt backstage?
And did you throw it in the trash bin?
Yeah.
I should have fucking asked that. I really should have just asked.
He probably would have just looked right and said, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
I don't even know what that is.
I didn't want that fucking shirt. So, and I still go back to it. I can see a situation where someone, like Wendell, just throws him a medium or a large, and Ed's maybe an extra large, and he's like, "This fucking shirt ain't gonna fit me." And he was, "The fuck am I gonna do with this thing?" So I've had people, I'm a large gentleman, and I've had people, "Oh, here, I have a shirt for this," and they hand me a large. I'm like, "Dude, I'm like a 3XL, bro. This is never gonna fit." So what the fuck are you doing? You're wasting your time handing me this too. So I can see an Ed Trunk in a situation like that. And that honestly, to me, sounds more likely of why Ed, because Ed's the kind of guy who might just take a free T-shirt if it was like something that looked cool and something he could rock and wear when he's flying around on his jet setting from his home to
but
home.
He probably saw a hand job on there. He goes, "Fuck this." In the trash it goes.
So, or there could be beef. Maybe he would just come around and say, "Oh, those guys talk trash or whatever." But he's been interviewed by him, right? So I mean, I big Aiken. So there's clearly
And if you recall, in what is it? Neely always claims that they hang out and he recognizes him. I don't know that I buy that, but whatever.
Even if that was the case, I mean, to Ed, it's just like seeing another guy. Oh, there's Dawkins' roadie.
Yeah,
that's what Ed's thinking. There's Dawkins' roadie.
Which is probably what he thinks.
So but as a question I think we can just throw out here that has come up occasionally, and no one can obviously do a tribute show like Oz just had, because how many people are, like I said, the circumstances of them dying and knowing they're going down, and let me get this last show in before I croak, it seems pretty unlikely. But what other bands do you think, and maybe not on his level, you're not going to get a soccer stadium. Sabbath is pretty big. Ozzy's a big band. But maybe they can get an arena or a good-sized theater. What other bands do you think deserve, maybe give 3 bands you think that would deserve a tribute show?
Just off the top of my head?
Yeah.
When it's time to go, you mean?
Yeah, I'm saying
Metallica, Rolling Stones, and Van Halen. I mean, I think even Van Halen, something would still go over fairly good, decently, but just because there was nothing ever done.
Did they try to do it?
What's that, Andrew?
Didn't they try to do that?
I think there was talk of what was it? I think there was talk before Ed died. I think they wanted Roth and Hagar back.
They did that tribute after he died too, and somebody had a problem. It was.
I think it was Alex.
Alex and Dave did not agree with the way that they were going to tribute Ed. And I believe there was disagreement there. And I'll be straight. I believe the bigger issue is a guy like Roth is going to say, I'm sharing the stage with who and the mic with who and for how long versus how long do I get to perform and who goes first and who goes last. And all these things are going to play a part. And as soon as you try to get Sam in there, that's going to muddy up the waters even worse. And so I much as I agree, I would like a Van Halen one. I think that's just never going to happen. Yeah. I think Alex is too old to be on the drums, actually playing the drums. And you would want Al on the drums if you're going to do this. And he would have to have Mikey, you'd have to have Sammy, you'd have to have Dave and Wolf. And I just don't know that all those players are all those stars are going to line up. And, rightly or wrongly, Sammy's out paying his tribute or has been paying tribute to Ed and his time. And whether you like Dave or not, if you watch Dave's show, right now he's out there on the road doing all Van Halen. No Roth. All Van Halen. There's a reason for that. He's tributing, I think, in his own way, what he did with Roth, or with Ed, whether people like that or not. So he's diving, obviously, into some of those, because that last show, although not well attended, if you look at the set list, he's giving you all the shit you could pretty much want from those first 4 or 5 records he did with Ed. So, what about you, Andrew? You got any bands you could think of? The 3 bands that you would?
I mean, and it could be any band, right? It doesn't actually.
Doesn't whatever. Yeah.
Nobody outside of Ruben saying Metallica. There's nobody else I can actually think of that could really pull that out with the guys there while they're alive. Anyway, I don't know. That's kind of something I would really have to think about. If we're talking just music in general, I could see them, if the 2 assholes involved could actually get their dysfunction together, I could see them maybe doing a Journey thing.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot to cover there.
Yeah.
I'm sure plenty of people would be willing to get involved with that. But as far as like a third one goes, I don't really have one off the top of my head.
I think, although it would be smaller scale, I think Judas Priest needs to do this and needs to do it now. I think they should do it before Glenn Tipton passes. I think they should do it while KK Downey is perfectly capable of getting on stage and playing with Ian and Rob. And I think there's probably 10 good bands that would get up there and do some Priest material. And you wouldn't be able to do a soccer stadium, but you could do a good arena. And I think Anthrax's and even Metallica's and stuff would probably show up for Priest and pay respects to Rob and Glenn and what they've done. And now is the time to probably do it, y'all, because again, watch that Sabbath cover that they just released, and Glenn is just barely standing there, y'all. Come on, the guy's gonna fall over, and you're not gonna be able to tribute him once he's in the casket. So at least let the guy sit on the side of the stage and watch you guys play the music, and maybe he can come up and do Metal Gods or something at the end with everybody like they always do. So do it before, because they're all in their 70s, y'all. This is not, time doesn't reverse. Not going to get any younger. And I know that they're out there pushing new product and doing that, but now's the time, man. Management needs to round these guys up and say, we can get an Anthrax, we can get a Metallica, we can get some of these European metal bands that would show up and most certainly pay tribute to Priest. So that would be one. I don't think they're there yet, but down the road, I could definitely see if Bruce was terminally sick or something was wrong with Steve, I could see Iron Maiden obviously having a slew of bands that would want to show up and pay tribute to Iron Maiden. And for a third one, I definitely think that when the time comes, there will clearly be no lack of bands wanting to tribute Lars and James and Metallica, because really they are, in my opinion, the new wave of American heavy metal that came in. They are the band that started all of that. I mean, you'd have to have Mustaine, I think, involved too, because he was the guy who helped do that. But if you think about it, the Slayers, the Anthrax, all that stuff comes after Metallica goes out there and starts pounding the road doing what they're doing. So, and honestly, that one would be, Metallica would do it right. They would find the spot in San Francisco with the arena, the place to do it, and get everybody in there. But Metallica also, I think, has, in Lars's mind, probably 10 more good years of touring and shit to go do and make money. And I don't see any of them are in such bad health or condition that they're going to need to stop. And the way they keep packing these football stadiums full of motherfuckers with Pantera and all these bands, there's no reason yet to do that. But when the time comes, clearly, I think James and Lars would deserve that. So, yeah. And you probably, again, I think all those other bands, the Anthraxes, the Slayers, the Megadeth, the this, the that, Testament, Exodus, these guys would all go and say, hey, dude, we got to pay tribute to Metallica because, you know, they're all kind of branches of that tree. So, yeah. Well, I think we've given you guys a shit ton of talking. And as the comment recently said, Evil, stop talking. Let Ruben talk more.
Yeah, that was I don't know. I don't agree with that, but whatever. I mean, I think everybody, kind of like with us having opinions about Neely and Chris. I mean, people have like wait a minute. It's like yeah.
I mean, I think they want more balance. That's why I was trying to rope Andrew back into this one more time.
Well, we'll
I can come on every now and then.
We're going to have topics. We're going to have to. Because I'm just going to say it on the air now. We are going to develop Ghoul Talk at some point in time, and we're just going to play a couple of clips of the ghouliest moments.
That is
ghouliest moments.
A Ghoul Talk.
If you go back into the archives of the CMS, there are some ghouly moments where you're like, "Woo, why is he?"
I have a lot to say about that. And just for the theme to do the, double meaning there, I might have to steal Eric's bit and dress up like a fucking dragon.
like a ghoul.
Yeah, like a ghoul.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Well, until next week, we'll see again, the way the rock music scene's going lately, it's like almost what other radical. Oh, and we should just real quick before we go, I am a Hulk Hogan fan. I don't care what any of you all said. Rest in peace to the Hulkster, man. When I was a kid, nothing was more American than saying your prayers, taking your vitamins, and
saying the N-word.
Well, no,
I think that came later.
That was Hulk. That wasn't Hulk Hogan. That was Neely.
He was portraying a character.
He was lost in the moment. He was lost in a moment of passion, gentlemen.
No, but even but you're right. No, you're right. I mean, he was the iconic guy, and I think they spoke about him last night on the CMS and how he was like the wrestler. I don't know that he was the wrestler, but the way him and Roddy Piper and Iron Sheik, and even Andre the Giant, and then Iron Sheik going on Stern and just losing his shit on Hulk. I mean, that was all good shit. I mean, it was all entertainment. It was they entertained.
110%. And the thing is, a lot of people, you could say he wasn't the best technical wrestler. Mm-hmm. Agreed. I'm a wrestling fan. There's guys in the ring who could do far more cooler moves and all this and that and the other, but it's the pop. When you walk out the dressing room, the pop from the crowd is going to tell you whether you're over or not. And there's very few people who got a pop like Hulk Hogan. I don't care whether he was classic Hulk Hogan or my favorite era is when he went heel.
NWO. Yeah, that was my favorite.
Hollywood.
That was Hollywood Hulk. Yeah, that was the best.
And that kind of not a lot of guys, had the balls because of his reputation in the red and gold to switch and become the bad guy, and he did, and he did it well, and led a whole revolution in WCW, made them all relevant again. And very few people have multiple chapters in a wrestling history like Hulk Hogan did. So he wasn't a perfect human. No one is. Ozzy Osbourne wasn't a perfect human. He'd be the first to tell you that. And so, and Hulk wasn't either. But he absolutely entertained millions of people. And as we'll be 100 years from now, there'll be some guy going Hulk Hogan. They'll go, yeah, we know who Hulk Hogan is. Yeah. That's the way it is. Yeah.
Also, it needs to be acknowledged this, whether you agree with what he said or not. I mean, like, obviously, he said some stuff that we don't agree with. That said, in the late 80s and early 90s into maybe the early 2000s, if anything in pop culture, any show or something referenced wrestling, if it wasn't a flat-out cameo, it was either a reference to Hulk Hogan or Randy Savage. Those were like the two main guys that everybody fucking knew.
Yeah.
Yeah. And no matter what you can say about him, everyone will tell you behind the scenes that the dude did a lot of stuff for other wrestlers and people with money and help and things that they needed. Guys going to rehab who couldn't afford it, and Hulkster floated the bill on that rehab. So there's dudes out there who made millions who wouldn't do that for you, pal. You know what I'm saying? So it shows you that no matter what was going on, his heart was usually in the right place, and and that's why watch some of the videos of him with little kids, and you can really see where his heart really is. He wanted to make sure those little guys were going to do the right thing. So.
Right.
Rest in peace, Hulkster.
There you go.
Yeah. And someone who made it rock and wrestling. Remember that? That was my favorite cartoon.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that was kind of a crossover thing at the time. So, yeah. Well, I think that's pretty much wraps it up for the wrap show.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. We'll see you next week. Let's hope everyone stays. Hope the Deadpool list. We didn't even cover.
Well, it's only 1 and 1.
Yeah, we got 1 and 1 here, but we're keeping our eyes.
Frankie Valley, Don Dawkin, watch out.
Well, Don is performing at SeaWorld today. He's part of the Baby Shark experience.
And I don't want to wish it upon him, but you can imagine how.
I'm not wishing him death, but. He might be wanting to die if he's having to fucking perform and open for fucking Baby Shark.
Yeah.
The SeaWorld gig is a very interesting one.
It's embarrassing.
across.
It's embarrassing.
I think the paycheck must be solid, but you definitely have to see yourself on the little sandwich board as you walk into SeaWorld and go, I don't know if this is really
with the fucking baby shark shit underneath. That shit was fucking cracking me up because it's real and it's like something that they would have. That's a Spinal Tap thing.
Absolutely. Docking on the main stage and side stage, baby shark.
Is that not the same thing as like Spinal Tap puppet show?
They pan the camera around. There's like 50 people at Docking and 500 at Baby Shark.
Yeah, poor Don. He's like a trip. He's like a trip over a German Shepherd in the shower away from death.
Oh no!
In New Mexico.
I'm telling you guys, and I'm not wishing upon him, but I'm not.
No, I'm not wishing it. I mean,
I'm saying this right now. Bill Ward may break because Ozzy's gone.
God damn it, he's not on my list.
And Bill's right up there in the age, the health factors.
But you know what? I have Frankie Valli.
Yeah, that's a good
Frankie
one.
Valli.
It's
like Money in the Bank.
Any day, TMZ.
Any day.
Frankie Valli's dead. Yeah,
so. Well,
here's the thing. Here's the thing with that though. Again, not wishing it on him, but at least he's fucking 90.
Well,
yeah, he's had a run.
I'm hoping to have a payday with Britney.
That would
Justin
be
Bieber.
Payoff. Yeah,
one of those two.
Yeah, those are two both young people that are going to give you a shit ton of points. Yeah.
Oh.
I'm gonna have to win, but I have to get a couple of these old codgers to just fall off.
You need to get like a dozen of them.
I need a Bill Wyman. I need Bill
That's right. You have Bill Wyman. Holy shit!
Well, because he's almost 90. I mean, I just did the numbers. I was like, "There's no way you could live to be 100. This is not possible."
What if he lived? Yeah, that's true. Well,
although if you read his book, he really makes very clear he's not a party guy. So that's probably why he's 88 and still fucking walking and talking.
Wait a minute. How can you Evil? How can you say you can't live to be 100 when your dad's 134?
134.
But Father Dayton lives on an Amish diet, ladies and gentlemen. He's out milking the goats right now in the barn to get his milk for tonight and churning the butter every morning himself. He doesn't buy anything processed or from
no process.
We work in the garden ourselves here, the Neelys. That's how we do it. We keep things close in the family, if you can't tell. So, all right.
Okay.
For Father Dayton and Brother Wendell and Brother Evil, we're all going to sign out here. It's gone amok. And we'll see what the CMS brings us next week. And we got Kendall Peters coming on for some Metal Church. We're going to be talking some Mr. Wayne, some Mr. Howe, the different eras. And we're going to be, maybe the ghost of someone may even appear, ladies and gentlemen. You never know. So,
David Wayne.
All right, y'all. Bye, kids.
Bye, kids.
Raise your horns